First of all, Shalom Aleichem.
Pleasure, John.
We're going to talk today about the nurse of Ribbis. First, I want to apologize if the English is not so good. Be more accurate, it's quite bad. But I'm going to try to bring out the points. Which this is the point that I want to do today. So, we're going to speak about in Yonatan of Ribbis. Ribbis means interest. So everyone knows, I hope so, that someone is not allowed to lend money for a friend or for anyone, any Jewish person, and ask he should pay him back with interest. So that's the part of the thing. But there's a lot of kinds of scenarios which people don't realize that it comes in at the issue of Ribbis, and we got to be very careful. So first, I want to say the solution before saying the problems, because if we say problem and without a solution, then nothing will happen. So I want to start with the inning of Hatzedeck. Is someone here already the concept of Hatzedeck? So Hatzedeck is basically someone wants to borrow money, and the lender doesn't want to borrow it for no interest. So he makes a Hatzedeck, and everything is fine, kusher yushe, and he's able to borrow money for Ribbis, no problem. So what happened there? It looks like a kind of a kamaya, which is matir HYS Ribbis. So, and it's not that it's interesting to understand what the concept of Hatzedeck is. It's a major point of the heter is the chalik to understand what the inning of Hatzedeck is. So let me try to explain it. And if someone understands it, then he will himself understand where we can use it, where we can't use it, where it helps, where it doesn't help. So the point is like this. Let's say I want to buy an investment property which costed $300,000. So I don't have only $200,000, and I need to borrow $100,000 in order to buy this investment. It's a cash deal, $300,000. I need to have all of them in cash. So normally, what would I do? I will go to my friend and ask him, please lend me $100,000, and I will pay you back. So the friend doesn't want to lend me the money for free. So he will ask hard money loan, 10%, 12%, which that means Ribbis. So there is a different mahalach how you can work it out. But this different mahalach has some boo-boos. So what the Hatzedeck does is that we will go with a different mahalach, but it will look the same. Let me explain. So let's say my friend tells me, I don't want to lend you $100,000. What I can do is I can be a partner with you. So I'm going to put in, the friend's going to put in $100,000, you're going to put in $200,000. Together we're going to buy the property. So I will be 2/3 and you will be 1/3, and we're going to be a shitfis. And in the revuchim we're going to split 2 parts and 2/3 and 1/3, right? So I put in $200,000, he put in $1,000. So every dollar I will have 66 cents, and he will have 33 cents, right? And like this will go the investment. So like this, my friend is masking. He agrees to be a partner. But sometimes there are several reasons why my friend shouldn't be masking to go into a partnership. One reason, he doesn't know what the investment is. Maybe it's such investment which it's not secured, and a lot of reasons why he shouldn't be masking to go into a partnership. Another reason. So first of all, he's afraid he will lose his money, because if the investment goes sour, then we are partners, and partners if we lose the money. So both of us are losing the money. And even though we won't lose the money, but he wants to be assured that he will earn money. So what's going to happen if we won't earn money in this investment? So if we are partners, I will tell him, goodbye. Our investment didn't make money, and I'm not liable not for the cadence and not for the interest. So another reason that I am not masculine, I won't agree a lot of time to have a partner in my investment. I want to do the investment myself. So I don't want to need to split the money I make from this investment with a partner. I want to make the whole rebuchim for myself. And I want to give him kat v'kat 10%, 12%, and that's it. Not more than that. So if it's a good investment, maybe I'll make 15% more. I want to give him only 10%. So why should I take him in as a partner when I don't want? So the concept of HYS is that the mahalach will be that we are a partnership. This is a partnership. But in order that the lender should be secured with his money he put in, like he put in $100,000, in order he should be secured with this $100,000, so we make like this. It's a partnership. But since I'm taking care of your money, you put in $100,000, I'm taking care of it. I'm buying the property, I'm managing it. So if I will tell them that I lose the money, so which in this case I'm not liable to pay him back, but he don't need to believe me that I lose the money with no negligence. Only if I'm bringing it to witnesses, which they should witness that I lose the money, boinus. How do you say boinus? Accidentally. And then I will be free of paying them back. But if I can't prove it with two witnesses, which they should witness that I lose the money with accidentally, so I will need to pay him back. I will need to pay him back the whole $100,000. So let me ask you a question. I have a simple idea how to work it out. Why can't we do it like this? It's an investment, it's a partnership, but I'm liable for your $100,000. So if we lose $100,000, I take liability on it, and I need to pay it back. Why can we do it like this?
Meaning with interest.
With interest. So like we should split the interest, the
profits.
The profits, right? We should split the profits, and I should take liability on the whole loan. It's not a loan, and all of the money you put into an investment, I should take liability. Why can't we work it out like this? So in this case, you will be secured for the thing is like this, that in HYS Ribbis, if I'm taking liability on your money, that means that the money is it's a loan. It's not a partnership, it's a loan. If I'm taking liability, HYS, on your money, then it's considered a loan. And if it's considered a loan, I'm not allowed to pay back nothing besides the money you gave me.
Even if I'm a shomer?
A shomer who takes liability on money, that means alvua. So we can't do it just like this. I'm a shomer on your money, and we are partners, and we split the profits, and I'm taking liability on it. No, it doesn't work, because on this case it will be a real issue of risk. So the only way how to do it is that the liability of this loan, of this, how do you say pikulim?
Item.
Huh?
Item.
Item?
Yeah. Picadon. Let's say picadon. Item.
On this, fine. The only way I can take liability on this item is with this way, that the liability is on the lender. Let me call it like this. But I am not
Liable?
no, I am not. So you don't need to believe me if you don't need to believe me that I lose the money accidentally only with two witnesses. So in that way, it makes hard for me to prove that I lose the money accidentally, because the lender can say, I don't believe you, maybe you took the money for yourself, maybe it was a negligence, maybe this, maybe that, and then I need to pay him back. But that doesn't mean that the liability is on me. The liability is on him. Just, I am not Naaman, I am not believable, what? Believed to say that I lose the money accidentally only if he brings two witnesses. So that's about the case. So now the lender feels quite secure that I won't be able to have witnesses which will witness that from the beginning, from the second I took the money from him till now, they will know that I lose the money accidentally. So in that way, he feels quite secure, because it's hard to find witnesses which knows from the day I took the money till now, till the day when the accident happened, that I didn't push shy and nothing. It wasn't even one negligence. So he feels quite secure. But what's about the interest? If I'm telling him that I didn't make any interest, so I can't pay him anything more. I can give him back his pikud, his money he gave me, but without interest. So about the interest, we can't make it like this, that I won't be believed that I did make interest only with two witnesses. We can't do it like this way. So the only way how to do it, how he should be secured with his interest, is to do like this. That if I will tell him that we didn't make any profit, I will need to give an oath that we didn't make any profit, and then I will be free from paying him the profits.
No two witnesses.
What?
No two witnesses.
No two witnesses. On the cane, I'm allowed to require two witnesses. He's allowed to require two witnesses. But on the profits, is not allowed. So on the profits, he can only agree that I will need to give an oath that I didn't make any profit.
What if it's something that's not profitable? Like I buy my own home.
Very good. First of all, if you buy your own home, why do you say it's not profitable?
It's also profitable. It grows in value.
You are one thing. You are living. We are getting profits in your house, right? If I'm putting in like 50% of the money, let's say, I'm lending you 50% of the money of your house.
Yeah.
So we are partners. So you live in my house. So my house gave out profits because I have a tenant, and half of my 50% of my house is mine. You live there. You need to pay me rent.
But does it go by the market value or whatever?
So another thing. A lot of times, you don't want to pay me how much the rent is of such house. You want to pay me 8%, 10%, not more than that. So the mahalach is that we agree in the beginning that if I will pay you back 8% of the money you gave me, then I will be free from oath and I will be free from paying you back all the profits I made from the 50% or 30% I have from you.
You could say the shabili like this, because it's not, you're not paying. The partnership that's not the way. Meaning that my part of the home is worth this amount.
You're very
not
limited
8%.
partner. You're a limited partner.
No, if I'm a 50% partner,
Right.
then I'm a 50%. Usually, I'm
No,
a
but
50%
with
partner.
Hatzedeck, he's saying you're going to be only a partner on 8%, not the 50%.
But if I put
He's a partner. If you put in 50% of the money, he's a partner 50%. So he wants to have 8% interest. if you put in, you put in by me, let's say, yes? If you put in by me 50% of the money, so he's a 50% partner.
Right, but you only give him the 50% of the investment property's profit.
Right, I'm giving him only 8%.
Right, that's why the Hatzedeck comes in.
Right. So we agree that if I'm giving you 8% of your money, not of the profit, 8% of your money you gave me,
The principal.
of the principal, then I'm free, I can keep myself the rest of the profits. So in that way, you are more or less assured for the case, because I need to bring witnesses. You are more or less assured on the profit, because if I wanna be put from paying back the profit, I'll need to give a shvia, and probably I won't.
Lie on the road.
Right. And I'm happy because I need to pay back only 8% and not more. I want to give you 50% of the profit I'm making from this investment. So that's basically when I'm taking the money and I am investing the money in investment and it comes profit, then everything is very. But what's about when I want to borrow money to make chassan? So I'm not investing this money. I'm using this money to pay off HYS I have, to pay off credit card bills. So how does it work in this case? So the thing is, what you do is that when you give me $100,000, let's say, even though I'm taking this money and I'm paying off credit card bills, but I have some investments. I have a house, I have my own car, I have some investments, some assets which gives out profit. So I'm telling you, you give me $100,000, no matter what I do with the money. I'm making you a partner and my existing investments. So from now on, you will be a partner in one of my investments, and everything will go like we spoke before. Like we're gonna split the profits, and I will be if I'm giving you 8% of the money you gave me, then the rest of the profit will go for me, and I'm not believed that I lose the money accidentally only with 2 witnesses and all things like we spoke. But in order to make it more hard for me to prove that I lose the money, so when we sign the Hatzedeck, we're not specific for us. We don't say that this house will be the investment. And the Hatzedeck says that one of the best investments I have, you will be a partner. So in this case, the only way how to prove that I lose the money is if all of my investments are going bankrupt, then I'm not liable to pay you back. But if not, you can say, I lose this house, okay, so maybe
One of the best investments I have now?
During the time,
No, we are again that if you will buy investments eventually, if it will be a good investment, I'll be a partner in that investment. Right. So the only way how to prove that I lose the money is if I'm losing all my assets. Then, okay, for sure, your money.
No.
But if not, you can say, who says that you are a partner in this investment? Maybe you are a partner in a different investment, which I make a nice profit of it.
Right.
So in this way, in this case, it's very hard for me to prove that I lose the money because I need to lose all my assets. Then I can say, listen here, your money went down. But if not, normally it's very hard to prove that we lose the money.
It's also very hard to prove what's the best asset.
But
right.
But you are the lender. You have the pick.
No. You don't pick.
Yes, you do.
No, it's whatever the contract says.
No. You don't pick now.
You don't pick
Now you don't pick because you want to have the option later on to say who says that in this investment, maybe that investment. If you will pick it now, then if this investment will go sour, then goodbye. But you especially don't pick, so you can say later maybe.
Can you combine the investments? Because technically it's all your investment.
What will you have from combining investments? Like
Let's say this investment brings in 2% profit.
how
This
much money? 2% of what?
Of whatever amount, it doesn't matter.
No, it
100,000.
doesn't matter. Of course it does matter.
Oh,
Because
he's-
if you have investment of $1 million,
Right.
and this investment gives out $2,000, $5,000 a month, a year, yes? So, and you
It's not
invest
enough to cover the profit, not the profit. The money that was mentioned in the HYS
right,
for the lender who gave you the money.
right.
To
You
get
mean the
that.
8%, let's say.
Right, the 8%.
Right,
The 8%, let's say, is 100,000. Let's say the investment was 800,000.
Right,
So now he has to get back $100,000.
right.
This investment that you have only gives back $2,000. This one gives back another 2,000. This one another 2,000. There is no way for
No, because it needs to be, if the loan was $8,000, right? It needs to be that $8,000 gives out 8% of it. You can't collect all the profit from this investment and
no,
from this
only
and from
up to
this.
8%. Up to 8%.
No, it doesn't work like that. Because if one investment is worth $1 million and it gives out $2,000, then
No, he doesn't have the right for more. He only has the right for
Up to 8%.
Up to 8%.
right, but it needs to be that you should make 8% from your money profit.
Meaning
that's what
before
I'm
I
saying.
buy?
If
What?
you combine 8% from investments that are large, then that 8%.
But there is,
adds up
let's
to
say
more
there is
than-
no one large investment that gives off 8%. But there is 10 small ones.
That you-
No, that small ones
It's
doesn't give
asset.
out 8% of the money you invested. It needs to be that $100,000 should produce $8,000.
To begin
So
with?
It's not
Before
on
I
the
buy?
term, it's on the absolute dollar.
You should have
So-
assets which $100,000 gives out 8%.
And if it
You-
doesn't?
If it doesn't, the simple way is that it's a problem. If for sure you don't have, like if the lender knows that the borrower don't have investment which does produce 8% of the money,
Alright, so can I go to another property? Me
You don't-
combine two properties
no,
and
you
go
won't
for
have,
8%?
you won't gain anything, because you need to have that the money, the assets you have should produce 8% of the asset. Like if you have one investment,
But what if you borrowed that $100,000 and you invested the $300,000 into 4 properties?
again, you borrow $100,000.
You said you borrowed from him 100,000
Right.
and you put in another 200 of your own money.
Okay.
So with the 300,000, you didn't buy one house or one building, you bought 5 houses.
No, so if I put in my money, so the most part of the profit should be for me. I can't give him from my part. I need to give him that his money produces
Made the 8%.
right, made the 8%. So if he is a small partner in my investment, even though my investment produce 8% of his money, but why should I give him this 8%? I'm a partner 75%, he's a partner only 25% of this investment. So even though this investment gives out 8% of 25% from the investment, but since 75%
So basically,
is my part,
if you borrow the money for the investment, you are still the major partner and you will take the profits out first.
if I put in 75%, right? If I put in 75%, it needs to be like this. But if you don't, if he don't know what's the situation with my investment, so he can say, I don't believe you. Maybe you did earn this money. Maybe you did earn this profit. So I don't believe you. So if you wanna not pay me back this amount, then you need to give off. If not, then you need to pay me back. But really the thing is that he is thinking that probably I did make 8%. So if someone takes a cash advance, right? Cash advance.
That's exactly what the point is. That's exactly what the point is. If you take the cash advance,
So no one makes this money.
right, but you still have to pay back with interest. If you take it from a credit card, you still have to pay it back with interest.
Right.
So the same, the credit card company doesn't care if I made money with that
Right.
$10,000 or not.
So if you take a cash advance from a Jewish
Take it
lender,
from a lender, it's a different story, but
it's not so simple, even with that history. Because how can the lender say that he thinks that probably you made 40%? 40% of the money. What was 40% of the money? There's no such a thing.
but when the person has to go
Besides,
and give
if
a
you work
shvia,
with drugs or weapons,
Yeah.
then, but
when the person has to go and give the shvia, let's say he's forced to give the oath, does he have to declare how much interest he made, or that he just didn't make that much interest?
if he claims that he didn't make ribbis at all, then he can give a shvia that he didn't make any interest. And that's it.
But if he
But if you don't want to give a shvia,
you have to pay
then
back
he
with
needs
it,
yeah,
with it,
he
right?
needs to pay like this 8%. But he's not allowed to go into such agreement that he won't be believed without the shvia that he did make 40% only with the shvia. Because if that's not a thing,
Right.
what's normal to make, why should he need to pay? The only thing is that the lender can say that he doesn't believe me that I didn't make 8% only with the shvia. But if
Can he
no
write
one's
on
make
contract that
what?
that's how much he should be expecting to make?
By
Why would he want to sign? Why would the borrower want to sign such a contract?
because we want to borrow money,
Yeah, but
and he's ready to pay 8%. That's the reason. Why are people taking hard money loan?
no, I'm saying the 40%, let's say.
Oh, the 40. Why shouldn't he take it?
Right.
Okay, so the reason why some people take a cash advance is someone needs to take out a mortgage.
No, I know why they would take it. I'm saying that the guy to pay it back. Could he write that he is expecting to make this amount of money?
Even though you're right, so but if it's not
It's not going to matter. It's at the end of the loan.
if it's not normal to make such money, if he believes it.
No, because
if,
they both know what's going on. The lender and the borrower both have
So if he knows that it's such a business, like it's maybe a restaurant, which the money, the food, how much does it cost? And
Right.
for every plate you charge I don't know how much, $60, $70. So if it's such a kind of, if it's true that you make this money, then it's okay. But,
and it's a good interest.
right. But if it's not so, then it is a problem. So there is a mukam to say that if someone wants to take out a mortgage and he has credit card bills and he need to clear them up in order to be able to qualify for a mortgage. So sometimes what they do is that they take out a cash advance and they pay off the credit card bills, and then they are eligible for the mortgage. So in the end of the day, maybe it pays themselves out to take the cash advance and pay 40%, because like this they can get a mortgage and they can pay off their credit card bills, which the interests are at 21% for. But it's not so simple that this is a head, because not the money that you received produced this profit. It's only from this money, because of this money, you could pay off the credit card bills and take out a mortgage. It's not direct. So this is that's basically the concept of it. Now, as we spoke before, that by ribbis, if someone takes liability on money, he's considered a lawyer. So it goes a step further. Like someone takes out the mortgage of the bank, and he needs to have a cosigner, which a cosigner means a urev. There are three kinds of arrival. There are the urev stam, a urev kablan, and the urev shloivditz. Let me explain it. A urev stam means that first the lender needs to go to the lawyer, to the borrower, and if he doesn't have, then he can go to the urev. This kind of urev is mit. Like if I'm borrowing money from a goyish bank, and I have my brother as a urev, if it would be such a kind of urev that the bank needs to go first to me, and then if I don't have any money, if they don't find any money, they can go to my brother, then it's okay. But normally, I don't know if there is such a thing b'chlal. All the co-signers by the bank works with a co-signer today, a co-borrower, which is more chomerim. So the bank can go either to me or to him. So what will happen if I don't have to pay for the bank? So the bank will go to my brother, and they will collect from him the principal and the interest, right? So of course my brother wants to come back to me and ask me for the money I should pay him back. So the look is like this, that because my brother is liable for this loan, so if he ends up paying that loan, even just one payment, it is considered that the bank lended him the money and he lended it for me. It's like two separate loans, from the bank to him, from him to me. So if he will pay a payment for the bank, principal and interest, so it means that he borrowed from the bank like let's say $2,000. Let's say one payment is $3,000, 10,000 principal and 2,000. I'm sorry. Each month there's the payment. The payment is $3,000, 1,000 the principal and 2,000 the interest. Let's say in the beginning, right? In the beginning, the principal is very low and the interest is high. So it means that he borrowed from the bank $1,000 and he's paying for the bank another $2,000 interest. And he lended me the money because I bought the house. I received the money from the bank. So he lended me the money, $1,000, and if I'm paying him back the $3,000, that means that it's a real HYS Ribbis. He borrowed from the bank $1,000 with interest, and he lended it for me $1,000 with interest. And if I'm paying him back, it's a real problem of Ribbis.
When he borrowed from the bank, right, he got a Ribbis. What he's giving it to you is not Ribbis.
If he ends up paying back for the bank and then collect it from me.
No, he's paying you, right? Your brother, you're paying your brother.
I'm paying my brother,
right,
which he paid for the bank. So because he was liable for this loan, he was a urev kablan, such a liability that the bank can go to him first.
Right.
So if he ends up paying, it's considered that he was in the beginning the
primary loan.
Yeah, right. Let's start from a more simple situation. I'm not qualifying for a mortgage, so I asked my brother, take out the mortgage on your name, and the house will be my house. And unfortunately,
when he gave it to you, it wasn't with interest. When I take money from him, right, and
talk,
I owe him interest,
let's
I give
talk
it to
about this story. I want to take out the mortgage of the bank. I'm not qualifying, so I'm asking him, you should give the name, and the real owner will be me, myself. So I will pay him how much? The principal with the interest. I pay direct for the bank, no difference. So that means that it happens two separate loans. One loan, because he is liable for this loan, he is mitzad the bank, from the side of the bank. He is the loibe. So he is the loibe. By Ribbis, it goes like this, that if he's liable for this loan, he is considered the loibe. So he borrowed from the bank, let's say $500,000, and needs to pay back with interest 5%, and he lended me the money. And he asked also I should pay his payment, so which means the principal with the interest. So it's a real Ribbis Ketitzi, such a situation. And if we made already payments 15 years, which in the time of 15 years, I paid already off the whole $500,000 I took from the bank. So I'm not allowed to be mamshech to pay further the other payments. And it's unfortunately right. So that's when it's two separate, that's when the loan was made only on his name. So it's two separate loans and it's a problem to pay the interest. So, but even on a way that he's only a co-signer, if he ends up paying even one payment of this loan, so it's considered that on this payment he made, he was the lender from the bank, he was the borrower from the bank, and he lended me the money, and I'm not allowed to pay him back the interest he paid for the bank. So there is a HYS, like if I don't have money to pay for the bank, he can lend me the money from this payment, and I should make the payment for the bank. So in this way, it shouldn't be considered that he borrowed the money from the bank and he lended it for me. Because he is borrowing me $3,000, a separate loan, here you have $3,000, paid for the bank. The only way it's considered two separate alvus is if he ends up paying for the bank, then it's considered two separate alvus. But if I'm doing the payment for the bank, then it's okay. But in today's days, it works with the co-borrower. Co-borrower means that both of them are borrowing the money from the bank. So if the bank lends $100,000, it means $50,000 for Reuben and $50,000 for Shimon. So if let's say two partners in a business, one is 25%, one is 75%, and they took out the loan of the bank from the bank, $100,000 on both of them. So from the side of the bank, both of them lended and borrowed $50,000. But they themselves, one of them will take $25,000 and the other one will take $75,000. So that means then that Reuben took $75,000. He lended for Shimon another $25,000, and then he's asking him back pay the
interest.
Pay the interest for this. Again, the 25% shittif, he lended for the 75% shittif $25,000, because both of them took the loan from the bank $50,000, and he took only 25 and he took 75. So the one who has 25% in the shitfist, he's lending for the other one $25,000, and he asked him, fine, but pay out the loan, pay out the 25%, the $25,000 I lended you, pay for the bank with interest. So that's also a problem. If two partners, one is taking a loan.
But what if I took it, right? Now that I took the $25,000, then I give it to you.
And you're asking, but you're asking also with interest, because the bank is asking from you interest, so you're asking it from your partner.
I could give the bank interest. It's me giving the bank interest. It's just giving it to a Jew interest.
Right. But if we two are partners, and I'm 25%, you are 75%, and we both took a loan from the bank of $100,000, which means that I took $50,000, you took $50,000.
Okay, fine.
So I lended you $25,000 from my part, and I'm asking you, I'm giving you $25,000, but paid back for the bank with interest. So that's also a problem. Because I lended from the bank $50,000.
It's your liability.
And I'm lending you 25% from this. And you paying my chav to the bank. If one of the partners takes out the loan on his credit card and he pays interest, he takes out $10,000 from his credit card, he puts it into the business, and then he pays back his charges with interest from the business, which the business is my part and your part together. So it means that he he borrowed from the credit card company $10,000 with interest. He put it into the company, which $5,000 is my part, $5,000 is his part, and then he pays back from the company
Right.
with interest. So that's from my part also.
Right.
And also, we gotta make a hat risk in this case. So there's a lot of we can't stop
Tip
stop
of the
talking
ice.
about that. Yes. So life should help that should be able to be nizer in the HYS Tax completely.
Man,